That's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love, those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make up lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Oh yeah, man, shout out to my pops, man. I do this for you. Let's go, let's go. Happy Thursday. I think Columbus Day is this weekend, Monday, right? Columbus discovered something. I don't know what it was, but let me tell you what I discovered. I discovered my haters are about 12 to 20 years old, bro. They still get carded. They walk by, somebody says, somebody farted. Like, these guys can't get in the club, bro. They're snot-nosed kids. Letting you know now. Shout out. I hope they all enroll at Northwestern. That's where I hope they go. They love to do some extracurricular activities. Northwestern's the spot to be, bruh. If you didn't hear, Pat Fitzgerald is suing the school for $130 million for wrongful termination. Guys, I really feel, and I'm saying this now, I really feel he's got a leg to stand on. There was a process. We agreed to certain things. I believe it was a knee-jerk reaction to the public finding out about the hazing. I think Pat Fitzgerald, he might not get all $130 million, but you start up here and we land somewhere below. But this man's about to get paid. He don't need to work again. He don't need to work again. He wants his good name back. I don't know how that's going to happen. But, man, $130 million, that's a nice, pretty penny. They can't throw that shit out. There's going to be some litigation there. So shout out to him. Now, shout out to all my haters. I hope you guys grow up and become Wildcats. I hope you guys enroll. This dude, hey, these kids, they're sick, bro. They're sick. My life is so great. I went on base today. I put on my uniform today. Took Kim with me to an appointment. Found out how much money I'll be making for the rest of my life in my retirement pension. Oh, my God, it was beautiful, guys. You don't know what it is. To see numbers on a page. To know that's coming. Oh, it's a beautiful feeling. Worked my whole life for this. Hope you guys like your fruit roll-ups and fruit snacks. All you haters sitting in your basement eating pizza rolls and Hot Pockets. You guys don't impress me, bro. I used to eat microwavable frozen burritos with mystery paste in them. It wasn't even meat. We don't know what it was. They had different wrappers. You remember those, sweetie? Those frozen burritos? What was the company they were made by? Oh, man, it was like Spartan or something. It was something terrible. You guys know what I'm talking about. They just came in a green, red, yellow, or orange wrapper. They said shit like bean and cheese, right? Yeah, I was raised on that shit. You kids are sitting around eating dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets, man. You guys ain't built like this. You guys aren't ready for me. Talk about not being built like this. TJ Dillashaw apparently is now bald. He went ahead and took a bald transformation. This is TJ here. If you don't know, he's been suspended in the past for taking some juice, some gear. He's on the juice. You remember, he became a world champion. And turns out he didn't do it, cleanly. So here's what we got. Here's the end result. Dealing with an injury, getting back at it, but apparently he forgot. I mean, you could walk past this dude and you wouldn't recognize him. Babe, do you know who TJ Dillashaw is? Probably not. If you did a search for TJ Dillashaw, like just did a Google search for images, TJ Dillashaw, I guarantee you, whoever you find, are you hating the haters right now? Are you writing the haters? You're so beautiful. You guys got to know, man, Kim stomps out these flaming haters. She stomps out the flames like you wouldn't believe. And she does it with a smile. She's over there just looking like, oh, I'm busy right now. I just want you to know TJ Dillashaw does not look like this. And now he does. It's wild. I didn't look too much into the world of sports today, guys. I let it go. I wanted to talk football and football only. We have games tonight. We have games for the next 48 nights in a row. It's going to be an incredible feeling. You guys know the deal. I go out here and I live stream during every game. If you want to watch party, if you're a part of the TikTok community that bitches and moans and complains that I don't give you a free take and you want a free lock and all this stuff, my assessment on a game, all you have to do, watch the live stream or come join us for the games. And you'll hear me talk during the game and I'll say something crazy like, hey, guys, take that over. Hey, bet on that guy. Hey, whatever the over-under is on that guy, bet on that right now. And those live bets have been making people so much money. Just shooting the shit, just talking. Sit next to me, bro. I'm an almanac. Listen to me speak. I'm better than the dudes on TV. Everything they say, they got it from somebody like me in their ear. They don't even know anything. So, that being said, what games do we have tonight? Well, we have Sam Houston at Liberty. And then we have Western Kentucky at La Tech. I won't be talking about Western Kentucky at La Tech. That is MVP data. If you want to know what's going on, subscribe, become an MVP, and then go watch the videos. I make them every day. But Sam Houston at Liberty, this is so interesting to me. Sam Houston, if you guys don't know, last season, they went ahead and redshirted their entire team, all their starters. They only let them play 4 games, and then they redshirted the rest of the year. And they let all the backups play and get experience. They said, we're doing this because we're moving to the FBS next year. And so the FCS season didn't really matter to them. And they lost a bunch of games. They let all the underclassmen play, but they lost nobody to the transfer portal. All those underclassmen went back to the bench. And they treated it like it was NCAA 2014. You guys remember the game? NCAA 2014? That's when they went around and you would redshirt everybody because their attributes would increase. Well, in this case, I think a lot of these players declined in that year of redshirting because they're not playing great. They really aren't. It's unfortunate. They're 0-4. Casey Keller's a hell of a head coach. Love what he used to do at Delaware. Loves what he's doing here. He's won national titles everywhere he goes. But he sure as hell ain't won a game yet at the FBS level. And I don't see how they go into Liberty on the road and beat an undefeated Liberty team, Jamie Chadwell and the boys. Now, the spread is 21 points, 20.5, something like that. Let's pull it up. Spread, 20.5, dude. That's a gnarly spread. Let's talk about it. BYU didn't cover that spread. Air Force didn't cover that spread. But apparently Liberty's going to cover it. And the reason Liberty's going to be able to do it, number one, they're at home. Number two, they have a lot more film than the other teams. So they know how to beat this team. And I believe that Sam Houston is losing some faith in the process. I believe they're losing some guys in that locker room who don't want to be involved in this losing season. That's how I feel, man. I haven't got any word. Now, I do talk to some Sam Houston players in my DMs. I know several of them. But I don't want to talk disparaging about them because I believe in them. But Liberty looks like they're ready to take some lunch money. You see that over-under 46.5? If Liberty wins this game, that means Sam Houston's not going to score at all. If you think Sam Houston solved their offensive woes, I don't believe it. And more importantly, when you look at Liberty as a whole, let's do this. Let me pull this up for you guys. I'll break it down in here, and I'll show you guys some MVP level depth here. When you look at Liberty, look what they've been doing. Shutting teams down. 6 points, 27, 17, and 24, right? And obviously this was last season. But when I look here, I'm looking, I'm going, how good are these offenses compared to, Sam Houston? Sam Houston's offense is gross. They didn't score in the first game of the season. They put up 3, 7, and then last week they had that 28 and lost in overtime. 28 freakish points against Jacksonville State. We just saw Jacksonville State last night. They have a good defense. They have a strong defensive line, and Sam Houston didn't look outmatched in that game. Sam Houston actually had the lead. They looked like they were going to win the game. So I think Sam Houston has a good offensive line because they didn't look, and that's a strong defensive line that we saw last night from Jacksonville State. Did not look that strong in this game. So we know they have a decent offensive line, and we know their defense is strong. Look what they're doing. It's 14, 13. It just feels like a low-scoring game tonight. It feels like Liberty wins this game, but a low-scoring game. That's why I think the under's real, unless you think Liberty's blowing them out. If you think Liberty's blowing them out, then you got to take the over. But I feel like the under's in play just based off of the fact that Sam Houston will not score. They have terrible offensive play. I think that their defense is good enough, and Liberty's going to run the ball. Caden Salter's over-under for tonight. I don't want to get into it, prop bets, but go look into it. It's an MVP level thing. Go look into it. This game I'll stay away from all the way around. So tonight, good football tonight. Excited about it. We'll be live streaming at 7 and 8 o'clock for both games. We'll be on YouTube. Jump in. Come get my final opinion on them when the games start. It's free. All right, shout out to the MVPs. So we'll leave it at that. Now, we're getting into Sunbelt. Sunbelt, another undefeated group of 5 team out there, right? There's 5 of them. It's Fresno State, Air Force. I just talked about Liberty, Marshall, and there's one more. Who is it? JMU. I almost said SMU. JMU. But Marshall's probably the least impressive undefeated team out there. And they're at NC State. NC State, we know they have a stout run defense. We saw what they were doing with Louisville last week. I still think NC State, starting MJ Morris, they got their hands full trying to stop Rasheen Ali. This game looks like a very intriguing game to me. I wouldn't be gambling on this game. It just looks intriguing to me. Okay, it looks cool. It's a 2 o'clock game, so it's going to be before all the threes. It's right here. 6.5 is the spread, meaning 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown favorites NC State. They're assuming MJ Morris is going to score, and Marshall's going to struggle to score. Marshall defense is not good, but their offense is sensational. Shout out to, Rasheen Ali, one of the best running backs in America. I think he's going to score. I think he's going to do good things, but it's hard to run on these guys. So just something to think about. I think it's just going to be a good game. You can learn about these teams. I wouldn't bet it. This is a showdown if you've ever seen one in the Sunbelt. Texas State and Louisiana, they're going to put up points. Both of these teams can score like crazy. I bet this over-under is out of control. Let's go to it. Let me double-check something. Oh, I can't really even talk about this game. It's an MVP lock. I apologize. MVP lock. I'm going to leave that alone. My bad. Ignore. Arkansas State at Troy. Arkansas State found themselves a new true freshman quarterback in the last 2 weeks, right? I made a video about him, Jalen Rayner here. Look what Rayner did coming off the bench. 44 against Southern Miss, 52 against UMass. He's putting up massive numbers after their offense couldn't do anything. Okay, massive numbers for Jalen Raynor. And if you look at his stats individually, this man looks like he should win the Heisman. 35 for 52. This is 2 games. Almost 700 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception in 2 games. Oh, by the way, he's almost rushed for 200 yards. 11 yards short of 100 yards a game. This is the guy. Jalen Raynor is a one-man wrecking crew. Did not belong at Arkansas State. He's too good for Arkansas State. But is Courtney Jackson going to get open? This is the Syracuse transfer. Is he going to get open against Troy? Troy's a complete team, guys. Troy's very good. Troy doesn't care who you are. They just handled Georgia State, who was undefeated. Shout out to Granger. He's a better version of Jalen Raynor. Like, this is a more mature team, a much better team, and Troy beat them 28-7. So Troy's going to beat Arkansas State. At least that's how I feel. They're very equivalent. Troy just played a team just like these guys and dominated them. I like Troy in this matchup. Okay? Now, what's that spread say? What's it say? 16.5. Do you like them that much? That's the question. Do you think Arkansas State can score? That looks daunting. 52.5 looks daunting. If I just saw Georgia State only put up 7, 52.5 looks daunting. I actually like the under here, and I don't know if they'll cover that spread. I would just stay away from all that and go under on this game. I think Troy's going to dominate Arkansas State and not let them score the way they've been doing. Now, if the freshman comes out and plays, then congratulations. Congratulations. Then you're looking at an over here. But Troy looks very dominant. What they just did to Georgia State, they're going to do to Arkansas State. That's how I feel. South Alabama, ULM. ULM's looked really impressive, and I don't know how or why. And then South Alabama's looked terrible. But you can't bet this game. South Alabama's got a 10.5 spread on this, and some weeks they show up, some weeks they don't, and ULM plays better than you expect all the time. So even their first game when they beat Army, if you look, they beat Army to start the season. Nobody expected it. Then they go against Lamar, no big deal. And then last week against App State, 41-40. They're just so unpredictable. You can't bet on these guys. You can't bet against them. And at the same time, I love South Alabama's team. I think it's a good team. But look, you're losing to quality teams. They handled Oklahoma State. They should be able to win. I thought they were going to beat Tulane. They didn't. But they should be able to win this game. But with a 10-point spread, this is a really hard team to deal with. They're hard to predict what's going on. They really are. I like South Alabama. In the preseason, I would have said South Alabama wins this game by 30. In the preseason. Do I feel that way today? I don't know, man. That 10 points just seems daunting. It's possible. Seems daunting. I won't talk about that last game. That's MVP for sure. And then we'll get into the SEC. LSU, Missouri. Let me double check. What time's that game? It's at noon? We can talk about it. It's not a lock. I think Missouri's better, or I think LSU's better than Missouri. But I also can see Missouri and LSU, both of them scoring a ton of points. I bet the over-under on this game is enormous. If we're going back up, I bet it's enormous. It's got to be over 60. LSU, Missouri. Yeah, it's 64.5. My goodness. My goodness. It just feels like their receivers can't be covered. They will stretch the field. Missouri will put up some points. I really like Brady Cook as a quarterback. You're at home. LSU's traveling. It just feels like this is possible. I don't even know. You can't bet this game. Enjoy it. Watch it. Look for some offensive fireworks. Can't bet the game. At least not me. Western Michigan and Mississippi State. Western Michigan does not match up well. Mississippi State obviously does. I don't know what that spread is. I'm looking for it. I don't want to have to do a search on it. It's somewhere around there. There it is. 20.5 points. Wow. You got to imagine Mississippi State's 20.5 points better than Western Michigan, but it's not something I feel comfortable with doing. Mississippi State's offense has been kind of off. They might be working on some things in one of these weeks where Western Michigan is seen as like almost like a bye week. So you go in there and you work on some things from practice. I don't see the throttling that you're anticipating. I just don't. Alabama A&M. Got to make sure it's not on my list. It's not. I like Alabama to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if A&M wins it, but A&M's in there with their backup quarterback, Max Johnson, like what he does. But Alabama matches up really well. And in this game, what I think really matters is coaching, and Nick Saban's a far better coach than Jimbo Fisher. I can't imagine Jimbo Fisher going here, at home, going into this matchup and winning as an unranked team. I just can't imagine it. So I got to go with Alabama. I don't know what the spread is, but money line Alabama. Spread's 1.5. Yeah, give me Alabama to cover that spread. 1.5. Give me the what is the money line? -120. Yeah, just give me the spread. Then I don't care. The over also feels very alive. 46.5. 46.5 feels alive. It feels like that can happen as well. Sorry about that. Vandy in Florida. Not going to discuss it, I believe. Nope, I'm not discussing it. MVP lock. And then, believe it or not, the last 3 are MVP locks. Can't talk about any of them. So, shout out to MVPs. They know how I feel about those games. We'll be breaking everything down Saturday morning. If you guys want to become an MVP, come join the live stream Saturday morning. Just like this, MVP only live stream. Ask me every in-depth question. All right, I'm going to get to the chat now. Thanks for being here, guys. Let's go through it as fast as possible. I want to eat some dinner and then get the game going. All right, shout out to Dragon. Dragon just became an MVP. Congratulations. Jarrett McKinley, MVP. Smoody, you're an MVP. Congrats. Good day, sir. What up, Boss Omar? Tandy OBR, you're an MVP. Congratulations. Good afternoon, Rico. Welcome in, SEC and Sunbelt. Let's go. ricoknows.org for merch. That is correct. Also, welcome to all the new MVPs. Y'all have proven that they are smart. Pat Spratt, messages were deleted by Steve. I'm assuming, yeah, I answered it already. Those were not SEC or Sunbelt related questions. Please make your questions SEC or Sunbelt related. Do you see a way Bama wins Saturday? Yes, Travis Smith. I do. They have great defense, and Milroe can make some plays. Now, I also see a way A&M can win, which is if they were ever going to win, this is the year to do it. Straight up. D-Dub says, Yo, Rico, hope your day's been going well. What are your thoughts on how Hugh Freeze, has done recruiting so far? Took a disaster class last year and a decent one, and has flipped Thompson and Reddick from Bama and Georgia. Have heard he's been going after Ryan Williams, which would be huge. His dad played for Auburn. So, D-Dub, I don't really focus on recruiting the way some people do. I feel like recruiting is a waste of time from a sports journalist perspective. If you go to On3 or 24/7 Sports, those websites, Rivals, ESPN, all they do is write articles all offseason of speculation. They let you know when somebody's down to their top 8 and their top 5 and their top 4 and their 3 and their 1. And then they go, oh, yeah, so-and-so's committed, just like you just said. He flipped these commits verbally. That means nothing to me. They've never played it down. They've never gone to practice. And the crazy thing is if you don't know the NCAA rules, it doesn't even matter if they verbally commit. Verbal commits mean nothing. If they sign on the dotted line on National Letter of Intent Day, it doesn't matter. Players are now allowed to attend your school for 1 semester and transfer free of charge. So everybody enrolling in the spring for spring football in January can go through spring football because they committed to your school, and after spring football they can jump in the transfer portal, go somewhere else, and play that year. That's the new rule. Just got approved about 4 months ago. There is no such thing as a recruiting class to me. Not anymore. Now, you got a transfer portal class. They can't leave you. They're not going to leave you. They're transferring in. They're going to be in your 2 deep. They're going to be on the field immediately. They're making the immediate dividends. They're playing right now. I don't like to talk about 4 or 5-star recruits. I don't like to talk about these kids who are coming in and you all think they should be in the starting lineup. If you get a good recruiting class, congratulations. You just got a bunch of depth to your team. None of those guys should be starting for you. Your whole recruiting class should be depth behind the players you have developed within your program. If you want to talk about Auburn, and my most glaring issue with Auburn is their recruiting class back in 2021. Look at 2021 recruiting class. They want me to get excited about this. I'm sure they wrote 100 articles about this. Back in 2021, 18th overall. Their transfer ranking was 7th. I guarantee you there were articles about it. Every fan in the world named D-Dub or anybody else talked about Auburn's recruiting class because that's what you guys talk about in the offseason. And it's a waste of fucking time. You look at this list and all these players, there are only 3 players on this entire recruiting class still at Auburn from 2021. 3. They're all gone. It doesn't matter. They're all gone. 2021. So you don't have a recruiting. I don't want to hear about recruiting classes. Oh, 24/7 says the talent on this roster is this, that. Does not matter. What matters is maintaining your roster's continuity, addressing your needs in the transfer portal, and then coaching your matchups and doing the best you can every single Saturday. That other shit doesn't matter, man. So that's how I feel about Hugh Freeze and his recruiting prowess and what he's doing. Those players verbally committing to him don't move me. They're not in the too deep. They're not playing. They'll hit the portal and leave before they ever contribute to the team. Many have. 18 to be exact. Rico, the only person that could get me hyped to hear this song. Shout out to you, Bobby Albright. That's the song. That's the intro. That's what we do. Rico, can you break down the matchup between Alabama's offensive line and A&M's front 7 on defense? So the reality is, Trent, I'm not going to go name by name, but I'll tell you this. A&M's defensive line is stout. They're great. Overton and those guys, they are studs. I love their defensive line. They match up well. Where they're going to have problems is some of their defensive backs don't run stride for stride with Bama's receivers. Isaiah Bond is going to stretch the field. Right? Now, can you complete the pass to them? Who's spying at your linebacker position? Who's spying Milroe? There's a lot of strategic things that are happening, but that's how I feel about it. Is TJ Finley a top 10 group of 5 quarterback? Bobby Albright, he wasn't in my preseason rankings. I had preseason rankings of top 10 quarterbacks in the group of 5. Give me a second here. I'm going to pull this up. I want to make sure I don't show any locks, but I can show you my top 10 group of 5 quarterbacks. Here it is. In the preseason, these were my top 10. Frank Harris, who's been playing absolutely terrible, got injured and just didn't show out this year after having an amazing year last year, so there's room for 1. Austin Reed, Western Kentucky quarterback. We'll see him tonight. He's amazing. We'll see what he does. Grayson McCall, 3-time Sunbelt champion player, 3-time Sunbelt player of the year. I'm hard-pressed to put anybody above him. Curtis Rourke, the Ohio quarterback. He's really good. Carter Bradley, the South Alabama quarterback. Really good. Michael Pratt, the Tulane quarterback. Chevin Cordero, the Mountain West second team, all Mountain West quarterback out of San Jose State. Taylon Green, the Boise State quarterback. Seth Hennigan, the Memphis quarterback, probably really good. And look at that. Mikey Keene had never played a down in the Sun Belt, had only been a backup or a partial starter at UCF, and I still had him in my top 10. I loved him that much. Mikey Keene's probably the number 1 guy on this list now as of this season goes. So, yeah, there's room there. There's room for Finley in that top 10. Some of those guys aren't performing quite the same. So shout out to you, Bobby Albright, for asking the question. But there's also some other breakout stars, right? So it can be tough. It can be tough, but I like it. Finley's been playing great. Remember, Finley is the starting quarterback. If you guys don't know this, TJ Finley's the starting quarterback at Texas State. He's 6'7", 250 pounds. This guy's a statue. He's not your prototypical dual threat quarterback. He doesn't extend the plays with his legs. He's just an old-fashioned, like, pro-style quarterback. What do you think about South Alabama's running back room? Port City Cards, South Alabama's running back room. For me, right, LaDainian Webb should be getting more carries than he's been getting. It really frustrates me. And I know they're sharing the rock with other players. I think he wasn't 100% to start the season. But for me, it shouldn't be about their running back room. It should be about one 1,500-yard rusher. Not just a 1,000-yard rusher, but a 1,500-yard rusher. I feel like he should be dominating like that. They keep spreading the ball around. I think to start the season, if we pull it up, it was frustrating to me going and watching their games because I want these guys to be amazing. And they're telling me, oh, well, Kentrell Bullock comes in from Ole Miss, I believe, transfer, and Marco Lee was getting carries. I don't know what that's about. For me, this is the guy. A Florida State transfer, right? Bullock's how many years has Bullock been in college football? 5 years? Or 4 years? 3 years? I thought it was 5. My bad. Yeah, you come over from Ole Miss. It's a big name. It's a big school. You think, oh, we got to start this Ole Miss guy. Not me, man. I'm sorry, I keep hitting refresh. I meant to keep hitting back. Not me. I really just want the ball to go to Webb and Webb only. That's just me keeping it real. That's how good he is to me. I like him a lot. I think you'll win more games feeding him the rock. But thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Man, them kids still have mommy and daddy paying their bills. They don't have no bills? They don't have no bills? You're talking about my haters? My haters ain't got no bills, bro. They buying corn nuts and Tootsie Pops. They ain't got no damn bills. How long do you see G.J. Kinney at Texas State before he has the chance to elevate? Bobby Albright, I'd imagine 2 or 3 years and somebody's going to come looking for this man if he keeps doing what he's doing. If he takes back Texas, Joey McGuire better start winning or he'll take back Texas Tech. Okay? I really like what he's doing. You know, money talks, but so does winning. Can you tell us what SEC games are not MVP plays and go over the games they are not MVP plays? Jay McGrath, I do that every single show. Rewind the show. That's how I start my shows. Rico, you the man, dude. Last 3 weeks have helped 1,000%. So thank you so much for the knowledge you spilled. There you go. Hey, we still miss, but the difference is you feel more informed and you know the teams better than you did before. You guys can go miss on your own. All the people who don't agree with MVPs, go miss on your own. But I know my MVPs are informed, know the matchup, and some guys last night, we were in the live stream, shout out to Bobby, man. Some guys show up and they say, hey, Rico, thank you for breaking down the game tonight. I'm going against the grain. I'm going to go against you. And he won. He won on one of the picks. At the same time, we're watching the game, and I go, hey, guys, take these overs. These overs are real. And they took them, and they hit. Live bets are real. Watching the show with us, watching the game with us, you will learn so much about the game if you just sit there and listen and just take it all in. So one guy says to me, you act like we got time to watch your live stream. Bro, my live streams are going on the same time as the game. Do you bet on games you don't watch? You're watching the game, you should be watching me. And listen to me when I tell you something. I'll see a guy on the field, and I'm like, oh, that guy, he's going to go for 100 yards today. Oh, that guy, he's going to do this. Oh, that guy, he's going to do that. It's what happens during the game. There was like 6 different things to bet on last night if you were paying attention. True story. But you got to sit there and care about your money. Or you can write me a message and go, hey, man, where's the list? I just need the list. I don't want to watch your videos. I just need the list. All right, bro. Well, then I don't want to talk to you. I just want your money. Shout out to you, though, Tyler. We an hour early today. Let's get it. Yeah, we're an hour early because show usually ends at 7 p.m., but games are starting at 7 p.m. So I want to end the show at 6, the latest, and then I'll be able to eat, enjoy my dinner, and then start working at 7. Hell yeah, brother. Used to pick them up at the gas station. I don't know what we're talking about. Keep up the grind, Rico. Do you think Mississippi State moving Mike Wright into their starting job will help their lame duck offense? What is wrong with Arkansas's offense? So moving Mike Wright into their starting position is very surprising to me. Obviously, everybody said Rodgers was the guy. But when I watch their offense, I know what I'm looking at. I told everybody, I have a video on this, where I said, oh, no, he's not Will Rodgers, not an NFL quarterback. I didn't say Mike Wright's better, but I'm just saying he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback to me. He's a one-read guy before the snap, and that's a product of Mike Leach's offense. That doesn't make you any good. I really made a video about this. Arkansas's offense, well, Raheem Sanders not being healthy. The offensive coordinator, what's his name? I just made a video about him today or this week. Damn it. His name escapes me right now. Man, he just leaves a lot to be desired. It'll hit me. It's nuts. They're not going to be winning much. Steroids will do that to you. Yeah, it will. It's a 2-0 day today. Shout out to you, Remy. I hope so. Rico, thanks for the overs last night. Thanks so much. You got it, Tyler. You're welcome. Thanks for believing in me and being here. Rico has an MVP pick tonight, and all my friends happen to be on the opposite side tonight. Goes without saying, you know which side I'm picking. Rico knows. Get new friends, Andres. Get new friends, bro. Sam Houston is going to get destroyed. Shout out to Tin. Let's go. It's Sunbelt Day today. Kamani Vidal, about to be the Troy all-time leading rusher by the end of the year, needs 503 more yards through 7 games. Shout out to Kamani Vidal, the Troy starting running back, about 5'7", 180, 190 pounds. He's not very shifty, but he's very good at what he does. He does follow the channel. I've talked to him in DMs before. He and his father follow Rico Knows on TikTok. Very good guys. I made a video about him this summer because they're loyal followers and they listen and watch all the videos. Shout out to Kamani. When he played his high school ball, he played at Grayson. No, Marietta. What the hell's wrong with me? Played at Marietta, and they won the state title. That was the Eric Gilbert team, Ricky White and Harrison Bailey, and a plethora of other guys. So shout out to them. Very good team, very good players. Really like what Kamani Vidal does. And becoming the all-time leading rusher at Troy is no joke. I appreciate that young man and how hard he's working. I'm an MVP now. Let's get it, boy. Shout out to you, Dre Bobby. Congratulations. Hit on the New Mexico FIU over 47. Shout out to Rico. There you go, Andrew. So happy you won, man. So happy you hit. Where do you think Rasheen Ali among top running backs in the entire country? I think he's top 10 easily. Yeah, he's definitely a top 10 player. Rasheen Ali 2 years ago was a 1,400-yard rusher, 23 rushing touchdowns. Like, he's real. People just don't know because they watch nothing but their Power 5 favorite team. They don't know who he is or what he is, but they will. And then when he shows up in the draft and he starts playing great in preseason, they'll be writing me saying, Rico, you got to make a video on this guy. You got to talk about him. You don't even know about him. What's going on? Did you predict this? Oh, my God, Theo Ash did. And I'll be like, dude, get the fuck off my tape, bro. Olympia Live. Rico, doing a money spread would shut those haters up so quick. You know, all I got to do is just kind of walk around and show you. I bought a new house and new car in the last year, in the same year. Ask me if I'm making payments. Ask me if I'm making payments. Hit on both overs. There you go. Worst coach in the SEC. Maddie, worst coach in the SEC. I mean, let's go. I got to double check. I want to say Jimbo Fisher. But is it fair to say that he's won a national title, right? So what are we doing? We can't go Jimbo Fisher. Let's go Zach Arnett. We can't go Jimbo Fisher. Let's go Zach Arnett. I was going to pull up the whole list and break it down, but then I just thought, I made a video about this earlier about Arnett having to compete with, in the West, there's great coaches. Lane Kiffin, Saban, what the hell am I doing? Jimbo Fisher. There's one more. Really big one. Who cares? Oh, Brian Kelly. Doesn't matter. It's probably Arnett. What up, big dog? Just got off work, putting baby girl down for a nap. How was the day? The day was cool, Raglan. I went on base, went to a meeting, filled out some paperwork, did some things, and it's a 4-day weekend for the military this weekend. At least it is for my unit. So I don't have to go back. I have a brief or a meeting I need to go to next Tuesday. So I'm good for the weekend to just relax and do our thing. First things first, hit that like button, y'all. We only got 22. That's crazy. Top 5 edge rushers in the SEC. Thanks, Rico. Appreciate your time and all that you put in. Maddie, top 5 edge rushers? I really don't know, man. Not off the top of my head. I don't want to miss somebody. Here's what I would do when I get a question like that, though. Let's say I go here. First thing I would do is go to stats. Now, there's certain players not getting any stats, but if you go to defensive leaders, just go look at sacks. But instead of going all conferences, go SEC, and you want to know edge rushers, complete leaders in sacks. And then I would just pick 5 names off this list. Not necessarily in this order. Obviously, Dallas Turner's a pro prospect. People talk about. I love what Tennessee's got up front. Pause. Shamar Turner, I think he just got arrested recently, right? So he doesn't count. I won't put him in. I love Jaheim Thomas. I know he's a linebacker, but I love everything about him. Walter Nolan's a beast up front. Perkins is great at linebacker. Kevy Rose, that's a transfer from La Tech, doing well at Arkansas. Shout out to him. Looking at these sacks, we're going down. Isaac Ukwu, oh my God. That was the JMU transfer. He's an all-conference dude. You guys don't know Isaac Ukwu down here. He plays for Ole Miss. He's in the rotation. You want to talk about a guy. This is a stud. If you look at his stats, look at last year, bro. 7.5 sacks. Like, they don't even know all his stats. They don't even have all his shit. They got rid of it. Something's wrong with ESPN. This guy's been playing he's a super senior. He's been playing for years. Isaac Ukwu, that's a guy nobody knows that I do. So there's just players on the list. As I go through it, I can point out guys who are just, if we had tryouts tomorrow, these guys are better than the others. There's a crappy one right there. Princely Umanley. This guy 19th. That's crazy if you're lower than him. That's crazy. This guy's not good. I don't care about, Rico, PFF said he's good. So-and-so said he's good. I was looking at this thing. He's going to be a draft. Shut up, bro. How about Dylan Carnell? Dalen Carnell follows the channel. Talked to him in DMs before. He's one of my followers. Shout out to him. He's on the page. Oh, there's a skilled guy that nobody talks about. Mykel Williams, Georgia. One of the best. One of the best pound-for-pound players out there. Mykel Williams. He beats a lot of these guys. He don't have the stats, but Mykel Williams is the guy. Complete stud. We had trials tomorrow. He's beating everybody out. He's a starter. So I like Mykel Williams. So there's 5 guys I named. No need to hate on Hot Pockets. Those burritos were terrible, though. Not if you deep fried them in oil, bro. If you deep fried them in oil, the tortilla got crispy. You don't know how to cook, man. My grandmother did that one time. It was amazing. Does Brady Cook make a case as a top 5 quarterback in the SEC this season? Oh, yeah. Oh, I liked him before the season started. I made videos about Brady Cook telling all you guys that this guy can cook. I made videos about Brady Cook in the bowl game last year. Shit you not, I got receipts. During their bowl game, they're losing the game. They come back and win it, and I talked about Brady Cook is the reason why they're so good. And people attacked me and said, this guy sucks. I'm a Missouri fan. One thing I can assure you is Brady Cook cannot cook. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And where are you guys at now? Where are you at now? Can't wait until tomorrow, Pac-12. Let's go to best conference. Shout out to you. Max Clancy, again, shout out to you for being an MVP. Sorry, chat just jumped on me. We in here now, sir. What up, Alex and Mario Nunez? What up, Rico? Thoughts on who will win Western Kentucky game tonight? That's an MVP-level conversation, Danny. If you're an MVP, go watch the video. If you're not, I won't talk to you about it. We got robbed last night. Rel, we didn't get robbed, man. We hit on some other ones. You can't just quit on the first game. You got to bet on the second game. A unit each day, you'll be all right. Have you watched Malachi Marshall at all? No, dude. No. I have not, Daryl Paulson. Send me a DM. I'll look him up. Been thinking about the fumble on the punt all day. Rel, let it go, man. That he's talking about last night. Oh, my goodness. Middle Tennessee State's punt returner just let the punt land in front of him. It was on the turf in front of him. And he walked up and touched it and didn't pick it up. It was some weird shit going on, bro. Weird. Does Florida need Urban back? God, no. God, no. Do you think Auburn beats Georgia last weekend if they were able to land McCall? Quarterback play is just so bad. No. No, I don't think McCall's that much of an upgrade. It's not that. It's tough, man. It's tough to beat those guys. You need defenders. You need to play a full 4 quarters. Join the live stream and grab the double over last night. Also bet a unit on Malik Jackson first touchdown, which hit for 5 units. Appreciate you, Rico. Thank you so much, Will Sutton. I'm glad you hit on all that, man. D-Dub, I agree for sure with what you're saying. I was just referring to the direction. It seems to be looking better than with Harsin. Well, obviously it looks better than with Harsin. He's talking about Hugh Freeze recruiting. But just remember, you can go in this direction all you want, but if the players get to school and then transfer and then never play for you, it was cool. You just developed them for a year for somebody else. That's all that is. How many times can a player transfer without consequence from the NCAA? What I mean by consequence is like a suspension. There's no such thing as a suspension, Jay McGrath. Every player is afforded one free undergraduate transfer. You can do that one time without issue, without anything going on. The second time you try to transfer, it needs to be within a transfer window, and you need to get a waiver to ensure that you don't lose or have to sit out 1 year for eligibility reasons. You're not suspended. You just aren't eligible to play. You got to get your grades right as well. But if you're a graduate transfer, you'll be straight for the most part. Are you going to play the new NCAA football game? I gave up video games, but I'm coming out of retirement for Dynasty mode with the transfer portal. You should reach out to them and do the portal. Maddie, I want no part of any video games, man. I love my life and my job. It's very stress-free. If I was going to play video games, it would be League of Legends. It would be with my son. And I don't have time for video games during the football season. But definitely off-season, I find time. Make sure you join Rico tonight for the live stream of analysis of Liberty, Sam Houston game. Wildly entertaining. Chat already open. Go show some love and hit an early like button. Shout out to you, Steve. Thank you so much. Yeah, watching the games with us is different, y'all. It's not like watching it with your friends. It's not like watching it at home alone. We're in a big group. You can come in here and chat. You don't have to use Twitter. You can just write it there in the chat. You got 100 people chilling, having a good time, and hopefully we're hitting on all our bets. And if we're not, we're still having a good time laughing about it. We really are. TJ Finley is a great use of the portal, realizing you're not an SEC guy now. He has 3 years to start in the Sunbelt. He should be fun to watch. Yeah, it's not just that, Bobby Albright. You have to look at what Texas State did. Texas State, right, they went in with Malik Hornsby at quarterback in the spring. So they got Malik Hornsby in the winter transfer portal, put him on the team, let him play quarterback all spring, and when they got done with spring football, they looked at each other and had a fucking coming to Jesus meeting and said, oh, man, we don't have what it takes. We don't have the right players in the right positions right now. We need to do something. And they hit the transfer portal and went and signed another quarterback, right? It ain't about your feelings. We got to find somebody. La Tech in Western Kentucky tonight. Thoughts? It's an MVP game. That's my thoughts. What's up, Rico? Pumped for the watch party tonight. Let's get it. Shout out to you, TJ. Hope to see you there. MVP definitely worth it. You learn a lot. Yes, you do, Rel. Thank you very much. And that's all it's here for. You're paying $25 to learn a lot. That's what it is, man. You're paying $25 to learn more so you can be more informed on your bets. And you can stop losing on your own. A lot of you guys just lose on your own anyways. With us, we actually win. We all hit last night. There you go, Christopher Hurd. Pause. We all hit last night. Pause. Yes, sir. Money well spent. Listen and learn. There you go, Jerry. Can't bet player props during game that I know of. Oh, it's Godson. Didn't know that. I learn something new every day. I gave out player props before the game, though. I always give out player props before the game. So when we do the live stream, I come on about 15 minutes early, babe? Yeah. 15 minutes early, and I start talking props, and I start giving out free plays at that moment, just so we know. Shout out to GOAT Zion Webb. If you don't know, Zion Webb is the backup quarterback for Jacksonville State. Came off the bench last night, over 100 yards rushing on 10 carries, ruined our lives, ruined the spread, ruined our play. We had it, man. We had it. Logan Smothers was the guy that I made my video about. Logan Smothers is the guy that I made my decision on, and I told you guys they won't be able to run the ball. I know they can't throw it, and you cannot run on this defense. We'll be all right. And they went and switched quarterbacks, and Zion Webb won the Heisman last night. Pittman's a terrible coach. Improved Arkansas a good amount, my bad, since taking over, and it's early in the season. But what's your thoughts on Arkansas and Pittman's status with a lot of tough games coming up? So are they really tough games? They just make you think they're tough games. They're not really tough games. It's just the SEC West. They're not great teams. They're really not. We've seen them play outside of conference, and nobody really impressed. Bama included. Like, they're not great teams. You'd think they are, but they're not because ESPN told you they're great. But when I see them line up against Miami, I see them line up against Arizona and BYU or Kansas. It's like, what are we looking at? What are we impressed by? These teams are losing everywhere or squeaking out victories. They're not very good. So Pittman has no excuse, man. He had a loaded team, a loaded roster, did well in the transfer portal. Why are you not winning? What is it? Was Bumper Pool that much? Bumper Pool, was that great? Miss Knox. The air raid hate got to stop. There's no air raid hate. It's understanding that those players don't translate to the NFL. All right? There's a reason all those Texas Tech quarterbacks never made it in the NFL. All the air raid Texas Tech quarterbacks, the vast majority of them, I'm talking for 20 years straight, never made it. Because you're going to put up a ton of numbers by a gimmick or a scheme offense, not pro traits. So when I went and looked at Will Rogers, I saw a quarterback that is not NFL ready. And what do I see this season? You put him in a pro-style offense, one where you have to make progression reads, and that shit ain't happening for him. He is not built for that. Shout out to the air raid offense. I love it. Hell, man, I love air raid, run and shoot. I'm a June Jones, Mike Leach kind of guy. I love offense all day. Don't get me started. Thoughts on Theo predicting Puka's success? KD's trap. It's not a hard thing to do. You pick a receiver on an FBS level team. That's not hard, bro. I make predictions on FCS transfers, Division 2 and Division 3. I had the only guy from Baldwin, Division 3. Only guy. But you go look at my top 10 at every single rank. These are not FBS guys that I'm putting on here. Thomas Incoom, Devontae Maxwell, right? Caleb Murphy's Division 2. These guys are on Final 53s. This is what I do, man. My list is here. All right? It's not hard. He did one guy. I got it right here. Starling Thomas, he's on a roster. Ivan Pace Jr., he's on a roster. What is he? The leading tackler among rookies? Isaiah Land's on a roster. I got it at every position group. You're talking about one position group. I got it every single one. It don't make no sense what we're talking about right now. It's cake for somebody like me. How we joined the MVP. Go watch the pin video. Go watch the video on the homepage. Rico, are we able to talk about what has been posted for MVP here or no? No, you are not, Cayman Ward. You will be blocked permanently if you do that. That's a negative. Let them pay if they want to know. If you got any questions about a lock of mine or anything like that, you write it in a comment underneath an MVP video, and I will always get back to you. Brian Kelly's the worst. He's a good coach, man. Stop that. Anyone in the SEC on upset alert this weekend? Yeah. LSU, Alabama, Georgia, all on upset alert. They better hit that alert button. Is Lane Kiffin up next at Bama when Nick Saban retires? Lane or Dabo? Lane or Dabo? Figure it out. I like the way Lane Kiffin carries himself. Uses the transfer portal like free agency, man. It's going to be necessary to stay consistent. Shout out to 2-Walk Nasty becoming a minion. Everybody loves Jerry. Have you been disappointed with Quinshon Judkins this year? Not necessarily Evan Kramer. You just expect a lot from him. And when you start seeing guys like Bentley, Ulysses Bentley come in the rotation more, and the offensive line not getting it done the way you envision, I just think they're a more balanced offense. The outbreak or the breakout of Trey Harris and maybe your quarterback being better at throwing the rock can really help you. You know, you relied on your running back because you didn't have a great quarterback last year, and now your quarterback's developed a little better. Now he's a little better. So it's fine. It's a little disappointing in the sense that, you know, you see guys, same thing's happening with Perkins. There's guys out there that you expected to have crazy stats and numbers and all that, and it's just, it happens. The most disappointing one is, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name right now. It'll come back to me. Deontay Lawson, the best middle linebacker in the SEC. No. What the hell? No. Is Jackson Arnold the best quarterback in the SEC next year? It all depends who they get in the transfer portal. I love Jackson Arnold. Best freshman quarterback in America, and he's not playing. That's fine. But quarterbacks transfer into the SEC to start. If you can't start somewhere, you transfer into the SEC to become a starter. Ask Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, Joe Milton, Jackson Dart, Jaden Daniels. We can do this all day. Graham Mertz. You transfer in to start in the SEC. So they'll get more quarterbacks to transfer in. They got terrible ones. They'll get better ones. Are there positions that are harder to get in the transfer portal, or does it vary by year? It definitely varies by availability. It's harder for certain teams to get positions because, well, the reality is like players are going to go where there's better pro pedigree. You might want that 5-star lineman, but he's not going to you unless you get linemen to go to the pros, right? Another thing, when players declare for the transfer portal and they jump in, there's a box when they're declaring at the website, there's a box they can click. And that click says, allow coaches to initiate contact, reaching out to me, giving me an offer, or the player will initiate contact to the interested schools. If they click that box, no coaches can send them an email. You can't reach out. They have to initiate the reach out. So there's probably your favorite team in the FBS, maybe your favorite team in the FCS. They might be interested in a guy, and they'd love to give him a scholarship offer. But if he clicked that box, he's not allowing anybody to talk to him. He already has a school in mind that he wants to go to. So it's really hard to get players if they all click that box and don't want to talk to you. Now, there's some guys jumping in the portal, and they don't know where they're going. That's bad for business. The portal is not for people who are lightly recruited and trying to find an opportunity elsewhere, and they're finding out the hard way. You're not going to get an offer. The players who jump in the portal, 90% of them, 90% of them know where they're going before they get in the portal. I'm not saying there's tampering going on. I'm going to tell you that I have had a conversation with an FBS coach, a Power 5 coach, who told me, Rico, if players are asking for advice, because I told him, hey, man, I got a lot of players asking me for advice about when they should jump in the portal, who they should contact, who should they reach out to. I wrote him this whole message, and he writes me back, and he goes, Rico, these guys should not be getting in the portal unless they know where they're going before they get in. That means third-party intervention. That means you're using your high school coach, you're using a trainer, you're using me to reach out to a coaching staff and saying, hey, are you interested in this guy if he jumps in the portal? Would you be interested in signing him? And they might reach back and go, when's he going to jump in? Oh, yeah, we'd like to see him. Yeah, we'd be interested. Yeah, he's got a spot with us. Oh, he'd be a starter here. It's the shit you're looking for. And then you tell the player, hey, man, jump in the portal. You got a spot over here. There's a lot of willing and dealing going on in the background. That's really happening. It's not tampering because the school's not initiating the contact and they're not talking to the player directly. Not tampering. Excuse me, chat just jumped on me. I got to find it real quick. Sorry about that. Princely is not in your top 5. No, he's not. Never will be. You think they're going to move Hornsby to receiver? They were going to do it at Arkansas. He's really fast. And Hornsby's he's a 4.3 40 guy. I think they should move him to receiver and let him get some plays. Hey, ESPN are listening, really listening, because Rico knows he's from the future. Thank you, Willie Bobo. I do what I do. Jack Party and the Houston Oilers run and shoot. There you go. Shout out to Christopher Hurd for knowing. How do you feel about J.C. Latham starting right tackle for Alabama? Do you think he's NFL caliber? So, Raglan, questions like that kind of piss me off because it's obvious he's on every mock draft. He's a starter at Alabama. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. He's going to be a top 15 pick. So you're asking me a question that everybody asks. He'll be talked about on ESPN 100 times over. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. So what do I think about him? Do I think he's NFL caliber? He's top 15 NFL draft pick. When you say NFL caliber, at least ask me about a player who's like maybe not getting drafted or something like that. Don't do that. I don't like it. It's just a waste of my time. Tez Walker's immediately eligible, helps UNC right away. Yeah, I made a video on it. It's not SEC or Sunbelt, but thanks for bringing it up, Todd Mason. What up, y'all? What up, Benjamin Miller? Who is the best middle linebacker in the SEC then? Evan Kramer. Don't go here. Don't do this. Don't. It's a subjective question. There's nothing factual about it. You guys have your opinions. I have mine. What is going on with South Alabama this year? I wish I knew, Travis Smith. What's going on is they're the most disappointing team for me in America. In America. I thought they were going to win 11 games this year, possibly at worst 10. They're 2-3. I thought they were going to win 11 games this year. They're the most disappointing team for me this whole season. True story. Graham Mertz is horrible. You know what? He's not playing horrible. I understand. I made videos about how horrible he was for years. I made videos about how horrible he was all summer. Showed tape, broke down his film. And I hate breaking down film for people on TikTok because I don't think they deserve it. I watch film, I break it down, I give my assessment, and all they ever tell me is, you're a box score scout. You're a box score scout. No, I'm not, bro. I watch more film than any of you bastards. All of you. Combined. I watched Graham Mertz film, made a video about his film, and it's bad. And he's still playing good. What do you think of NC State's replacement quarterback for Armstrong? That's an ACC question. He was supposedly Wisconsin's first 5-star quarterback commit. Yeah, okay. Anybody help an old-timer pick some football tonight? Thank you. Brian Baum, you might be in the wrong spot. Can Kentucky be best Georgia? Yeah, they're playing them. They're playing them. They got the players. Let them do their thing. Rico, what do you think of Brandon Joseph out of Notre Dame? Played for the Lions now. It doesn't matter. My fault, gang. I meant NFL caliber as in, do you think he can last long in the league? Alex Leatherwood was the same position 2 years ago. Now look at him. Yeah. So check this out. I don't try to assess if people are going to have long NFL careers because I have no idea what team is going to draft them. You don't know. They could be going to a shit franchise that doesn't take care of them, need them or want them. They could go to a city they don't get along with. They can go somewhere a coach is terrible. They can go and sit on a bench because the starter's an all-pro and all-American, all-Pro Bowler, all this shit, and they don't get a chance to ever play. Right? Like Kyle Trask was an amazing quarterback, second in the Heisman in his final senior year. 48 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Dude's never played in the NFL because he went to the wrong team. He could be starting somewhere, but he's on the wrong team. And that's the reality of the situation, and his career is going to go that way. So I don't ever try to assess people's career success. I will tell you who my favorite players are. I will make a list of my top 10 at every position. I am not predicting their success in the NFL. I'm just telling you 10 guys I like. That's how I get down. I don't do mock drafts. In all my content creation, I don't do any of that stuff. I don't even bother trying to guess what 32 GMs are going to do or what head coaches are going to do. Guys, I appreciate your questions tonight. It was a nice, short, concise, to-the-point show. Just remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. I'll see you guys tonight at 7. Hopefully you guys are there for the watch party, and you guys bet appropriately. Shout out to the MVPs. Do your thing.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through